Right. That's way too much. 4 even bid here now, guys. 4 he's talking about 1,000 Dow points. You know, it's just too much. 13 even bid here now. Once again, I'm at 13 even bid now. 13 odds are trading right now. All right, guys. Sorry about that. There's nothing I can do about that, guys. Once again, on it for you here in a big way. Paper came in. Huge paper sellers coming through here, guys. We got fast market up on the boards here once again. We have seen some big paper sellers coming in. It all started out up above around 38 even here now, guys. Talking about 25 handles of solid sell-side activity here, guys. They have just peased the limit down, and the S&Ps would be 1053 even. So we still have a solid 60 handles of range left. Here they come to sell them again. 9 halves trade, 9, 20 trade, 9 evens trade here now, guys. 8 halves are trading as well. Once again, guys, they're going to get it in 8 halves trade, 8 even offer, 7 even offer, 6 halves are trading here now, 6 evens are trading, 5 evens are trading here now. Once again, 5 evens do trade here. You're going to get a new 5 even offer comes in, 4 evens are trading here now, 3 evens are trading here now, 3 even here now. You're going to get a low print of 1103 even. Guys, 2 half offer, 2 evens are trading here now. Once again, I'm offered at 3 even here now, 2 half, but I'm at 3 half. 3 evens per here, guys. All evens are trading. The figure prints are trading. 9 halves are trading here now. Once again, we got figure trade here now. Once again, we are trading 1100 even. Guys, we are 64 handles left.
Okay, weekly equity review time. So, going to start out with Apple, and I'm going to smash on this time. So, if you guys have questions and you want to sidetrack me, that's fine. But then I won't get through the whole thing. But it is going to be a faster one. Grape juice ready. Mike sugared up. Well, it's very watered down grape juice. Okay, here we go. Apple. A tad overextended here. A little vertical, but broke out of our symmetrical triangle. So it has gone vertical, challenging, if not exceeding all-time highs today. So a little pullback. It often happens. You can see on this weekly candle, it has just been no pullback city. So expecting some sort of pullback here on Apple. And we can see that if we put a trend line on this baby. You can just see, right, moving at a normal kind of rate up and then whoosh, straight up. So momentum is it's often hard to turn a train around right away, so we'll see. But you know, all day today, consolidated little bull flags, so maybe one final push and then we'll see what happens Monday. But I'm expecting some volatility. Microsoft above the major channel here. It's gone sideways, not bearish. We could do that. But yeah, it did. It busted out of the channel and then now it's coming right back in. So not bearish, but like a lot of things in a bull market, looks very extended. So anyway, a lot of sideways action here leading to this. This held as a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So if Microsoft keeps moving the way it has, expect to pull back into the 260s coming up here in the next few months or weeks or whatever. But it's coming. Things don't go up forever. Amazon broke out of its trading range finally. These things like to retest. Just saying. So you could see it kind of broke out here. Oh, let's put a trend line on this, right? Come on, Thinkorswim. Work the way you're supposed to, right? Breakout, test, consolidation, move up. So, you know, Amazon's a big beast. So I would doubt that it does this right now. But, you know, this is what? A good year of consolidation. So, yeah, might. Who knows? Google. In a short, man, it never crossed. I wanted to buy this son of a gun here, never got there. So you see I've got a little alert there. If it crosses this level, get along, but didn't work out. Anyway, right in the channel, a little more sustainable kind of trend on Google. We'll go to Facebook. That was Goog. Here's Google. Got the same thing on both. That's okay. Facebook. We thought it looked extended, and it's consolidating now. So here, let's get rid of this. faster. Tested this daily trend line, kind of rising wedge type thing. And now it made a big bounce off this area. Man, that looks pretty bullish. Okay. Berkshire Hathaway B on this. All right, I got to consider this is now not log scale. So let me take a look at something. Yeah, not log scale. So it's not log scale. Okay. So a lot of these trend lines are different on log. I need to move this around here. You cannot makes a lot more sense on non-log scale on where it's actually bouncing. You cannot make alerts on trend lines in Thinkorswim if you're using log scale. So just an FYI. So bouncing where it's supposed to. Berkshire looks good. Tesla still could not. It broke down, extended balance area and then some, and now bounced off this. So it is still making higher lows. It is in an uptrend. Tesla's a buy technically. Visa, there's that trend line. It's a buy. So good. Nvidia is a bit extended, starting to do this here, right? A true rising wedge, ladies and gentlemen. Flow is insane on apples, Charles. Yes, it is, huh? Those calls were bonkers, and they pinned it right at 145. Someone pointed that out in Discord today. Shout out to Iggy, the lad. And Mitch, good call on the 145 pin. Let's see. Yeah, so true rising wedge on Nvidia. So Nvidia is interesting in that we have this little consolidation area here, and it's just holding it, right? So it's kind of neutral. We don't know. I mean, Nvidia obviously is in an uptrend, but little gap here. I wouldn't be surprised for us to try to fill the gap because it's a really bullish name. Wouldn't be surprised if we try to fill the gap and then push off of that, because obviously they're marking this up right now, so this is not sustainable. JP Morgan, interesting move. I don't know. I mean, until it breaks essentially this high, we have a global cursor on, so you can look on any chart you want. I'm on the daily, but it'll highlight the 30-minute. Until we break this 157.23 level, I'm not convinced. Yeah. So it kind of corresponds to this whole level here is what I'm looking at. You see that? So you wanted to see it like break up, then pull back, and then find support. So I don't know. Johnson & Johnson. Let's put a trend line on that top here. Weird that I did not have one on there. Rule of 3. We know what happens when it comes up to the trend line a third time. It usually pokes above. So some upside left in Johnson & Johnson. Walmart. It's crouching. Hidden Dragon. So it looks bullish. United Healthcare has broken out of this short-term. Wait, is that so funny how it just sometimes Thinkorswim just does not acknowledge the click. Okay. And we're headed up at this rate here, kind of in this little channel here, like that. So support in here, right around the 460. MasterCard, a little choppy, but I wouldn't be surprised if it heads up. PayPal, strong. We've been saying PayPal looked good for a long time. So anyway, once it broke this, I said off to the races, and sure enough, here we go. Break it, pull back, test it, off to the races. So it looks good. Bullish, breaking out here, short term. So yeah, I like how it's pushing up and pulling back. That's a more sustainable trend. Hey, in Xline, I trade futures mainly. S&P futures is kind of my main shtick, actually. Nasdaq futures. So just a lot of equity futures, but mainly S&P, and then lately a lot more Nasdaq, and then I do trade stocks and options. So, but my main focus is S&P futures. That is the money maker for me, or money loser depending on the day. Let's see, Bank of America. Yeah, it looks a lot like JP Morgan, except it came down, made a little weird double bottom here, but yeah, it's neutral. It is technically neutral. Yes, we're making a lower high, so you could say, well, the writing is kind of sort of on the wall, but you see this level and then relative to this level. So you could say kind of a, here, let me get a tool that I need up here. Where is it? Where is it? It's on one of these screens. Where is it? Where is it? Right there. Okay. That's it. So you could say like, oh, it doesn't. Oh, really? That's weird. See that? Doesn't want to. Okay, well, that's okay. The tool I'm using is basing the home screen off of the lower, smaller screen. I have a 49-inch up here that I'm working with, and so it's not acknowledging that it's within the parameters of the smaller, lower main screen. So that sucks, but whatever. I can't use my pen. Okay. I need to make that the top screen my main screen so that it's always big enough for everything because it's the biggest screen. Okay, so Bank of America, anyway, Head and Shoulders like here, and then, oh, I need to turn that on so you guys can see. There you go. So kind of a Head and Shoulders thing going on here. So if it breaks sort of this level here, then it could be ugly. So I don't know, Bank of America has a little slightly different structure than JP Morgan. Home Depot is, I mean, certainly in an uptrend, and it pulled back. This trend line is so invalid. So that's a log trend line right here. I need to move this around significantly. See how the trend lines are totally different? That's okay. We're gonna mess around with linear. Procter Gamble. Oh, interesting. So that trend line is bunk. Doesn't work. But I do like this, how it's setting up. Little kind of left shoulder, head, right shoulder. If it breaks above this, and it breaks above 141-ish, pulls back and holds, Home Depot could be off to the races. Disney. All right, again, this is an old log scale, so, man. Was it? Let's see. Yeah, you got to get rid of this trend line because the retracements are not deep enough. Let's see. What's the way to get rid of a trend line? Delete. Okay. But it is basing, that's for sure. You just would want to see it relative to these bounces here, make a higher high at some point, and then it's a buy. So looks good. Adobe went bananas. What are all these weird trend lines here? Okay, we'll add some real quick. Am I in the right account? Yes, I am. It's just weird. Anyway, Adobe's just gone bananas here, with hardly any pullback, so would not be surprised if there's some sort of pullback here. I mean, measured move takes us up here a little higher to like 645, so you know, we're heading there. That's the measured move from this pattern here, so we've had it on the chart for a little while. Comcast, I hate you guys. I mean, technically it's bullish. It's pretty choppy. ExxonMobil kind of broke this lower trend line here. Let's see. John, girl, I don't even know how to say your last name. Sorry, probably butchering that. Yeah, I'm going to be looking at that MCL contract for sure. I haven't been trading commodities lately, but I used to trade them a lot. So, but I'll look at that contract and see. I think it's going to be a hit as well, just like all the other micros for equities, and I'm excited about it. I did post, if you use Sierra chart, which is what I like to try and trade my futures through. Sierra chart has said that they're going to put it into their system with CQG the day of. I already requested that on their support board, so hopefully they follow through on that. I don't know. Bigger picture, again, I'm not a huge fan of these little rising wedge patterns failing. I put it on there. It's probably good for some points here, but wouldn't be surprised if we puncture that trend line again. So I don't know. Oil coming into summertime, people may have priced in a lot of the spike with oil. Certainly is hot where I live. It's 112 or 113 degrees outside right now, Fahrenheit. Nike, that massive gap, and we're starting to see some signs of profit taking here. You see how here there was profit taking, and then boom, I think it's a short squeeze. I tried to short this thing, and I covered at a loss, very small. It was like it was either coming back right away, or I wasn't willing to hold up here for very long. Anyway, I took a small loss on a short, and so it made this impulse, and now we're just starting to see this up and down kind of action. You see this? It's kind of consolidation, but it's consolidating to the upside, and that usually, like, you want to see a consolidation that kind of pulls back, like more like this or something. Not a consolidation that consolidates up. It just tends to, longs aren't getting compensated at some point. When it pushes through the consolidation level, they just dump. So that's kind of the usual. Man, I keep doing this. I gotta go faster. Okay. Oracle. In the channel, but at the top of at the top of channel resistance here, so expecting some sort of pullback. Netflix, little trend line here. Let's see. We've said for a while here on the weekly that this area was a buy, and just sell this area. So as it comes into here, I'd sell it. But a lot of that's going to be timing with the rest of the indices. Okay, so Coca-Cola. Oh, okay, John, cool. Right on. I'm just reading John's comments. He's new to the Discord and Zip forum. Well, nice to have you, buddy. Let's see. Looking on this pullback. I mean, it's made higher lows on the weekly and higher highs, so I would expect more uptrend. Verizon, pretty choppy chart, but it's on the weekly it's an inverted head and shoulders, and this has played out with Verizon a few times, right? You get this big dip, and then you get this sort of choppiness, and then it breaks to a new level. And it's done this before if you look further back. So anyway, choppy, but I would expect it to break to a new high at some point. What is it? Salesforce, CRM broke out of this downtrend line on the weekly. Very nice consult. See, this is what I was talking about on like the 30-minute. You want to see this kind of consult. This is sweet. Bull flag type. This is a flag, right? And now it's breaking out. So lots of upside left on CRM. Cisco, sort of bottom of this channel, curling up, looks bullish. Intel, a gap above, but not a decidedly bullish chart. We're just chopping around here. So Eli Lilly, top of the channel, expect some pullback in this area, especially if we break that trend line. So I would not be looking to go long. Doesn't have good risk reward. Pfizer, This is the vaccine I got a few days ago. Made me feel like shit. Wow, kind of a interesting chart. Just looking on the weekly here. Yeah, I don't have a whole huge. I don't have a lot of opinion on this chart, to be honest. I mean, short term, you could probably look at the daily and look, say this is an impulse and we're consolidating, and see which way it breaks, right? You got a trend line here, here, and it's a symmetrical triangle on the daily, right? It's symmetrical and it's a triangle, and you know, it's not a bull flag, it's a symmetrical triangle. So balancing, so breaks up or breaks down, we'll see. And then just look at the height from here to here to measure the wherever it breaks out of. You know, this would be a target to the downside, and you've got a volume node here, so you can see these highs here, so that would correspond with roughly this higher trend line if it breaks down about here with all this support area. If it breaks up, you've got a trend line here, and that's resistance. So very, very interesting. Yeah, very interesting chart. Okay. ABT, Abbott, is got a trend line it's flirting with. See that? Rule of 3, it probably breaks up and squashes all of the stops here and then decides. But definitely rule of 3. 1, 2, 3. And we know when something hits the third time, all the people who've seen that, hey, it happened 2 times before, the third time they go, oh, it's so obvious, it's just going to happen again, it's a pattern. And then they go crush the hopes of those people who are the dunces that are seeing the obvious. This is just how the market works. And this is why I'm always, well, on Twitter I talked about rule of 3 a lot last year. I'm kind of over the rule of 3, talking about it. I still use it all the time, but I've moved on, right? Trying to educate my peeps, especially my contributors, so that we're all learning each other's stuff. So I've already moved on from talking about rule of 3 all the time, but I do use it in my trading every day. I notice a lot of people aren't really mentioning it anymore in the Discord, which is interesting. I think for a while there people thought, wow, is that all you know is rule of 3? Like, no, I know a lot of other stuff, but I try to ingrain it in people's heads so they start looking for it. But anyway, it's part of my toolkit. This thing is ready to rock and roll. Very bullish. This thing, the way it's moved with this big down move and then this big up move, would not surprise me if it goes higher and then double tops and kind of comes down, and see where we go from there. Thermo Fisher at the trend line. There you go. Rule of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's see what happens. Either goes or it rolls over. But it's a bullish looking chart. You can see on the weekly. It's nice. If it breaks new highs, then hey, it's a breakout trade. Balance, you know, measured move is somewhere up here, 600. AT&T, bottom of the range. I mean, maybe a long-term buy to hold for $4 or $5. I don't know. CVX, Chevron, bottom of the range. Guess we could put some sort of channel or something. It's not a clean trend line. But yeah, bottom of the range. Would not surprise me to break all of this here and then move to the top. It would not surprise me at all. ACN, Accenture, top of the range. And a little breakout here. Watch. Check it right there. Okay. So this is the S&P 100. And it's organized or sorted by market cap. I don't know if you guys can see that on the left side here. And we're already pretty far in. It's about as far as I want to go with the S&P 100. As you can see, I've charted all this stuff already. Why? Because I like putting alerts on all kinds of stuff that I find interesting. So I recommend you guys do the same thing. Like, chart the whole thing. Put your trend lines, right? Support, resistances, and then when a trend line breaks, you know, you have an alert. Set up your alert on it in Thinkorswim, right? So how you would do that is you go here to this trend line. So like, okay, maybe I want to sell this trend line. So right click it, create alert with drawing. So when it crosses below, and you want to say like long-term daily trend line violated, right? And then you want to say like notify with sound and your mobile device. So that way you see it on your mobile, and then boom, that's it, right? And then it just creates it off this trend line and extends it out into time. So even if your trend line ends, it'll extend that all the way out. So that whenever this trend line is violated, boom, you get something on your mobile or your desktop or whatever you're trading in it. You know, I trade my equities mainly on Trader Workstation, Interactive Brokers, but it's just not as good charting wise as Thinkorswim. So anyway, over to the Nasdaq 100 here. There we go. Again, sorted by market cap. So there's going to be a lot of crossover. So we're going to ignore a lot of these. Tesla, Nvidia, PayPal. We went Adobe. So this was not on the other chart. So here we have this rising wedge. And this thing is running out of steam. So probably a good short, long-term short. We already did Comcast, Netflix, Cisco, Intel. Did we do Intel? Super sloppy chart, but looks. Hey, we already hit the top, coming back down. We have this gap here. It's so neutral. I have no idea. Okay, we already did that one. Did we do AVGO? No, this is Broadcom. We did not. Bullish chart. Looks like it's breaking out here, so we'll see. It's a slow mover, as you can see. Costco breaking out. Did not double top. I thought there was a chance we double topped. We didn't. We broke out, and now we're still going. So, golly, Costco, 300 to 391, 391 plus. So measured move all the way up here, 475. Really? Yeah, you never know. That's what it looks like. Here's the weekly. It's not stupidly, I mean, yeah, it's in an uptrend, but it's not stupidly extended. This kind of pullback sets up a move. When you break a previous high, sets up a lot of short fuel, especially if people were short, because they're like, hey, we'll want to short Costco. So don't know what short interest is on that thing. In the prop school, they taught us if the price action is not breaking the wedge till it's 2/3, then it's lost the purpose. I see forever, but I execute through Jigsaw. Oh, that's cool. I'm just reading the comments. Yeah, John, if Sierra gets their thing going and it works out, I'll give it a shot. But I'm not going to be like a beta tester or anything. No thanks. Play with someone else's money. Let's see. T-Mobile. Okay, we already. No, we didn't go over that. Texas Instruments. You know, it broke out, came back in, and now it's pushing back up. So this is a tough one. To me, it's range bound. But technically making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So yeah, I don't know. Going back to what InXLine says about what they taught him in prop school, being that if the price action is not breaking out of the wedge until it's 2/3 or greater, then it's lost the purpose. Honestly, what you want to find with the rising wedge is a pattern more like this and very well defined, like that, at a much greater rate of increase and consolidation to a tip. I mean, most markets at some point look like this. Like they do. They just oscillate up and down. So you can, like that. Like this is how markets move a lot of times, right? And then a lot of folks like to, that's just not. A lot of folks like to say, oh, well, right here I should short, right? Right in this area. This is like a trading channel still, and it's still making higher lows. But this is a bunch of longs continuing to buy, and at this point, they're getting less and less compensation. Now it's a good short. So you just want a rising wedge that really consolidates to a point. And that's, for me, what I've found brings a lot more success. A lot of the other ones I just ignore. But, I do kind of put the lines in there because it's meme-ish, right? If I start to see everybody shorting a stock that is this kind of quote-unquote not real rising wedge, and they're shorting here, I might get long, right? Because they're going to get trapped, most likely, in this kind of scenario. Right? It's just a bad pattern. So that is why I put them on the charts. What is the reverse? Control Z? Is that right? Yeah, Control Z. Control Z is undo, right? It only went to here. Okay, that's fine. Control Z is undo in Think or Swim. Okay, next one, Amgen. Looking pretty tight. So likely up. Charter, communications. Let's adjust this. Let's see, we're on the pointer. So here, just in probably in a buy point here. Right? Just a general channel. Yeah, getting a little crazy, but that's, if you're just buying the channel, so probably this area is support. The 100 period moving average on the 30-minute chart. What is it on the daily? Yeah, a little bit lower for support. I don't know. We've got a higher volume. I'd probably want to be a buyer at 725 or something like that. Not here. Could be buying the highs. It's just not a bad chart, that's all. It's a sustainable looking chart. It's not all parabolic and crazy. Starbucks looks like, well, we've been saying, break this area, and if it pulls back, well, did it pull back? Nope, it just gapped a little and it's been going. So it opens lower and then it pushes up every day. So that's interesting. On the weekly, right? On the weekly, yeah, I mean, I just look at the daily, more short term. We had all this choppy action and it's springing up. So next up is all-time highs. So we'll see how it reacts above there. Because we're in this channel and we've now gone parabolic, I think this is a good Intuit, I think, is a sort of in a shortable area here. But yeah, I think it's going to pull back. Would be my guess. If you just look at its price history, very rarely makes this kind of move. So I don't know, maybe the momentum takes it further, but looks like a hell of a good short here. I'm a mean reversion guy too sometimes, so there you go. Maybe wait for it to demonstrate some weakness before you enter. Me, I like to fight for price, and then I'll stop out a few times to enter in on the trade with the tighter stop. I will short sometimes right into the parabolic move, but I traded Bitcoin pretty successfully for a few years, and I don't know, I think I got pretty good at looking at exhaustion moves. So anyway, AMET, applied materials. So we've been, as a bullish chart setup, inverted head and shoulders, pushed out, broke down, sort of stopped everybody out, but not a great look for a ton more of upside. It just failed the breakout. So it's not good to have a double right shoulder on an inverted or a Kilroy continuation pattern. So not a humongous fan. JD, I don't know, I'm kind of tempted to put a fib or something on this thing. Let's see, where are you, fib? Right there. Yeah, I mean, when you see a chart like this and then the pullback and then God, sometimes it's so common to take the 50% retracement and for it to bounce 2 fibs. So common. Interesting. In Xline, I do not check where the options traders are positioning themselves. Mainly just trade the technicals, but man, I just don't have enough time. You know, there's been a lot of people in the contributors section of the Discord that are keeping me up to speed on a lot of the options. So that has been incredibly useful for my trading. And I want to look more at it. It's just, golly, the futures keep me so stinking busy, man. I use a lot of footprint, and I do rotation counting with the footprints. Not to get too off track, but I do do a lot of, and it takes a lot of focus and effort. So, you know, like I'll set my alerts from like my weekend charting and stuff like that, and I'll watch a few names and I'll watch a few hot stocks for the day, and then if something jumps out on me, I'll trade those, and I'll trade some of the ones that I like to trade, Tesla and Amazon and Nvidia and stuff, like some names, some more liquid names like that. But man, to look at all the options, I just find I don't even have enough time. So anyway, Zoom. So yeah, I deleted a lot of my stuff here, but I had a buy here on Zoom here at I don't know, 281, something like that. That's where I got in. I got out at 3. I don't even remember. It was in here somewhere. So I'm out of Zoom. So when you get good trade location, you don't let it run. Someone asked me like, "Oh, you bought the bottom on Zoom, you still hold it?" And I was like, "Nope," because I suck at letting winners run sometimes, and I did. I bought this level here just because of the volume node, right? Previous area of support, and then I bought it on a small retirement account here, and then I sold it right up in here, and that's it. Just made a little bit. That's it. So, but I would probably do as I say, not as I do. I'd probably hold this thing if you're still long. Oh, you could see what I think, right? I had a big old red box. Sell this area is, and I still think could be a breakout. But if you look at the way it moves, this move, measured move, it's about the area you sell for a short, looking for at least 890. So 70 points of downside, maybe 60 points for what? Stop of 30 or 40 points. So it's a better than 2-to-1 reward versus risk. So I like the short AMD. And then I'm gonna finish this up here pretty soon, and then I'm gonna, let's see, Micron. Let's look at ADP Guild. I'll do Guild, and maybe Baidu and Regeneron. That's about it. So AMD is, I don't like the pattern. I think it's got more downside in it. BKNG, add a buy right here. Within the channel, it's in a buy. Technically, it's within a buy area. Okay. Micron. It's tried, and it failed. Now it's just consolidating in this area, so you can get rid of this upper trend line. Man, I can get so distracted by so many things trading. So you guys ask a question, I'll go off on it for like an hour probably. Okay, so we're just in this area here. Oh, I see comments coming up. Good point. Yeah, next line. Yeah, very interesting. And you know, because I run the Discord server, I do chat a lot, and that probably takes away from my ability to focus on everything. So I'm probably shooting myself in the foot a little bit. But you know, until I set sort of the standard for what I'm wanting, especially in the contributors area, I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of profit on my end to get everybody on the same page. Because I think more eyes on the market, it eventually will pay off. And I'm starting to see a lot of benefit. Like people are like really buying into the concept of sort of, paying it forward and, getting back and, just being honest with your best effort, that sort of thing. So that's why, I don't know, we maybe only have like 20 people out of a Discord of 550 or something. I don't know exactly what it is. It's over 500, I think, that are in the contributors area, because the rest, they just kind of sit back and don't say anything, and or they're takers, they're not givers, right? So, but in the contributors, everybody's basically giving, and it works out really well because you just have people with great attitudes sharing information, so it's cool. And the way to get in there is just start contributing in the general area, the everyone stuff you see in Discord. Speak up and demonstrate that you have sort of the curious and helpful attitude, and then, well, one of the mods will see it, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll kind of keep an eye on that person. But we really don't want to mess up the chemistry in the small group of traders, because again, it's all free. So, we're not just looking to bring people in mass. So anyway, a little see, I get sidetracked. Okay, Micron. So in a little range, let's go to ADP real quick. Let's see what it looks like on the weekly. At resistance. I don't know. I would say likely down, but who knows? It's a weird chart pattern. Guild. Somebody I know is working for Guild. Gilead. Then they said it's a cool company to work for, by the way. This thing is building up some energy. That's what it's doing. This has all of the signs of accumulation, right? Strong buying, back down. Really isn't allowed to fall below this general level. So I wouldn't sleep on this thing. Once it starts to push, it's gonna go. All right. And I said Baidu and Regeneron. Okay, Baidu. Oh boy, that's not good. All right, next one. Regeneron. Oh, what an interesting chart. So breaking out on the daily for sure. Weekly's interesting. The weekly's ugly as hell. So, I doubt that its ability to sustain a much higher high. But certainly all-time highs look on deck. I mean, it's broken out, it's curling up, making higher highs and higher lows. So in an uptrend. Okay, let's go look at SPY. All right, let's go back here. What a move. What a move, man. Do you guys notice on the dark pool index, huge print again, so they bought the dip? What a move, man. And then, oh, they bought this little dip. It was allowed to dip a little more, and then whoosh, right back up. That's what tends to happen pretty often. So you can see that. Whoosh. Shorts are screwed right here. So yeah, a little bit more upside on this longer term weekly channel. I've got some measured move stuff I've done with the E-minis and S&P 500, and measured move is 44.65 off of balance, and then we have a longer term sort of fractal where it's around 4,400 of a measured move on a much higher time frame. So two interesting points. So I think we will go higher, but how much higher before we get some more major profit taking like this kind of move? That's the question. But this is balance, so SPY resistance up here at 440 to 450ish. But what a makeable. But anyway, let's see. SPY QQQ. I think so. I saw something way off to the right in my chats. Let's see. The 50 MA is that? Oh, let's see. Well, here, let's go back. In X line says that Discord is a bit scary for me. It's not. It's not scary. You know what? I don't know what's scary about it, except I would assume that it's probably tough to share your thoughts about what you might think could happen in the markets. And that is, although scary, that's one of the more powerful things about being in a room and doing that, is, that you do get scrutiny. However, in my Discord, nobody shits on anybody's analysis. And if they do, they will not be a part of the core group for long. So, the things we do frown upon are people, bragging about their wins without any rationale, and it just turns into a brag fest. And because we're not promoting anything to sell anything, so what they learn from the Twitter gurus, and then they try to repeat it. Oh, we're so amazing! What a winning week! We're so blessed. Yeah, 100. Rocket, whatever, and then they, these gurus who are all selling shit for channels. This is how they act, and they try to make it appear like there's always success. They're always doing well, and that's not realistic trading. So, and then people take that and they try to bring it in, and we're like, nope, that is not how we operate. And it's refreshing because you just have people kind of sharing what they think, and some experienced traders, more experienced traders guiding them, or just you consider what somebody else has to say and the way that they want to say it, and then you consider what somebody else has to say, and then you grow from it because you're like, oh well, wow, they're looking at the market in a slightly different way than I'm accustomed to, and man, maybe that's useful, right? Maybe it has predictive power. I'll get rid of this trend line here. So anyway, I digress. So SPY, little breakout, or a big breakout here. Tested the break. This is a breakout test. Doesn't even get to the level, and now we're shooting back up. So measured move. It's 4,400 to 460-ish. Right. Anyway, I'm using sort of the E-mini to help me determine that, because it's charted a lot better on my futures platform. A lot more detail. Okay, so anyway, QQQ. In X line, I understand. I do understand. Not everybody can chat and trade, so good on you, man. Do what works. Let's see. I have myself gone back and forth with that because I trade pretty well on my own, but I've noticed I trade better with the group of people consistently. Sometimes when I'm by myself doing my own thing, and that might be a personality thing, I struggle a bit. So QQQ, nice and broke. I mean, just what a nice channel. This thing at some point you're going to be able to, well, pretty tight channel. I was going to say at some point you're probably going to be able to draw a rising wedge out of this, but maybe not. Anyway, the Nasdaq relatively weaker today, but it's also made a relatively higher move more recently. So you expect a little bit of rest in the market when something has made such a strong move like the Nasdaq has. Lots of gaps. So you can see that again, different soft platform, but okay. Diamonds. Dow Jones trying to break out. It's got that look. Left shoulder, head, truncated right shoulder trying to bust up. So, you know, looks like more upside. Russell, IWM, and I'm starting to hesitate more. I need food. Let's see. Told my wife I'm gonna smash through this as fast as I can, but I'm slowing down. I like to talk about all the things you guys are mentioning in the chat, so it. Russell is, dude, the Russell is basing like a mofo, and if it breaks out, geez. So it's either accumulation or it's distribution. So we'll see. We will see. Huh. You know, I heard some crazy stat that GME and AMC are something like 20%, 15 or 20. You know, maybe not that high now, but 15 or 20% of the Russell, something like that. Anyway, done with the indexes here. Let's see. Let's see this movers list. So we had a 54 target on NEO. It hit it. Breakout here. Balance, target 54. Pretty precise, huh? Guess what? I bought it. I took profits here because I did not like what was happening with the, you know, it was, I don't remember what it was, but for some reason I sold here. It pushed back and then it sprung and it hit the target. I was so pissed off. Like, what the heck? Coinbase. All right, let's see. ABC up. See, your guys' comments, you know why I don't look at them in real time? Because there's probably like a 30 second delay right now. So it's really hard for me to make a comment. I move on, and then you guys make a short reference thinking it's in sync, and it's not. It's part of why YouTube sucks a lot. That's why I was using Twitch for a while, but all my followers are on YouTube, and people have said, oh, I really would prefer if you do it on. I'm like, okay, I'll do it on YouTube, but there's all kinds of delay. So just so you know. I'm just looking at Coinbase here. It's kind of based out here a little bit, isn't it? Try it here. Starting to make higher highs. I don't know. You know, what if I don't know. I like the look of this chart to give it a shot long. What if crypto makes another run here? Right. A lot of people are bearish. Bitcoin is what, 32 to 34,000? I don't know exactly. I could see it pushing 45 to 47 and then rolling over massively, something like that. That would be about the area. But that would get everybody back on the train. And then people would start thinking about, you know, Coinbase profits again. Huh. I don't know. Palantir. God, that's ugly. I mean, I guess that's just an ugly chart. Yeah. AMC. Oh, wow, look at that. So I had an alert on AMC. If it broke below here, consider a short to fill the gap here. Look at that bounce. Glad I didn't take it. I didn't even have time to, but it was a short-term trap. I don't know. GME also had an alert here at 196 to take a short. I don't remember what the alert said. I think the alert said next support was 182. So that would have been good had I taken that. I did get the alert a few days ago. I was too busy to take it. I just couldn't take it. Maybe if I wasn't on Discord, I would have had time, right? So the next line. Yeah, and next line. If you can read the future on what I'm going to say next and sync it perfectly, that would be appreciated. But anyway, yeah, maybe if I wasn't in Discord, I would have had time. Who knows? Lots of gaps under the market here with BYND. Headed back down. Gap, 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 gap. So you can see I was playing this thing pretty, all kinds of levels here. Back down, filled the gap. Here on BlackBerry. Not my kind of chart. These types of things just tend to drift. You know, they come up, make this lower high, and then they do the same thing, come down, maybe make a slightly lower low, and then there's another pump. So just not my type of long-term investment, unless you know something fundamentally about the company. Fastly looks very bearish because it's rejecting under this consolidation right now. So Workhorse, I see dead traders here. Even though you could say left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but this is bad. All right, this is just ugly. I don't know, maybe some sort of long-term hold, but I don't like to hold my money up in plays that just look like this, right? With just a prayer and a hope. Not my type of trading. Rather have some sort of, nice ramp up and it's consolidating and it's making a big pennant or something, and it gives me nice risk reward. I mean, where are you going to put your risk here? That the market's not going to go find and take you out. Not a fan of entering anywhere here. And this looks bad. So anyway, oh, you guys want me to chart anything? Let's see. Looking up. I didn't see any requests, but I have to wait 30 seconds, don't I? I can see where I'm at on my screen. It's way old. Alright, you guys should be hearing where I'm talking about requests here, maybe in the next 5 or 10 or 15 seconds. And then I have to wait another 10 or 15 seconds after that to see if you guys put any requests in. See how much this sucks? OSTK. Alright, no problem, man. Oh, Overstock. Are they still taking crypto for payment, John? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, it's at least a 25-second delay right now. At least. Nice looking chart though. Right? We must see the same thing. We must. Right? Pulled back off the trend line. Now going straight up for that mofo. They're about to launch. Yeah, I mean, it looks good. I mean, so you got 1, 2, 3. This third, it peaked above, rejected, but now it's coming right back to it. When something comes at a level, whether it be a trend line or a straight horizontal level for the third time. Now I prefer horizontal levels like this, where price comes up to it like this, and then at the third time it comes. I prefer this setup for a long over the trend line any day of the week, right? Especially when it's consolidated and it's moved back up. So when it comes up the third time, I'm looking to get long as it's coming back up into it. I'm anticipating it's going to break, and if it breaks, I'll probably sell some depending on where I enter and where I've got my stop, and then on the pullback I'll look to buy again. That's just me, and then I'll put another stop, usually closer, like in here, somewhere in the middle. And if it takes me out, fine, whatever. You know, it's not that much. It's maybe almost depending on where I got in and where I sold up here, it turns into a break-even trade. But most of the time in these kind of setups where you've got a horizontal price level, right? Because that turns into a supply level once it cracks. I mean, it's supply at a specific price, whereas this is supply at a specific trend. It's different. Anyway, it does look good. Yeah, it does look good. Anything else? OSTK, I guess that's it. But yeah, looks good. Looks really good. Had decent, had decent earnings. You know what? Let's look at something. Let's get rid of this stuff over here. You guys ever see this? You guys ever use the earnings tool in Thinkorswim? Let's see, where is it? In the analyze earnings, right? This tool, oh shoot, is it too big for the screen? No, it's okay. Okay, yeah, that freaked me out. So I'm not used to seeing it on a 49-inch screen. That tripped me out. Okay, so you can see here what were earnings, and then what did the price do, right? These are daily candles here. You just look at it here. This is a cool tool to look at. So this is, just look here at the EPS, actual versus what the street projected. So this is actual earnings versus what the street projected is the green. So they don't always report on everything for what the street projected on all names. They do for the bigger names, but like here, right? It was about what the street projected, and then you can see it sold off. But here, right? Implied volatility versus historical straddle. Okay, so here they beat the street, and you can see that's here. So it goes sideways, and then if you go back and you look at, the chart. So earnings, sideways dip, and now it's moving up. Right. So you can kind of see how it moves, right? Earnings. It didn't show us what it was here, but like this last was 1, 2, 3, 4 earnings back. So go back to Analyze tab, and you go back 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it doesn't tell us what the street's projection was, but I would imagine it beat, which is why it went and did that whole parabolic thing. So it did beat by a little bit, and it's on its way up. A little bit, not a lot of bit, just a little bit. So this, I would imagine this was a big beat, and then it just went crazy. So kind of interesting with Overstock, isn't it? Anyway, cool tools, and you guys should look at stuff. This is a little bonus here. Check this out. Go to the Analyze tab, go to Economic Data, right? And type in something like Fred or whatever, right? So M2 money stock, right? That's discontinued. So is M1. It's been a little while. On my other account, all right. So high yield master 2 effective. So yield. So this, yeah, our credit spreads. Right? So you can see like this is based max range. What is this, monthly? Whatever it is. So you can see that banks are really not pricing in a lot of risk right now on their credit spreads. Kind of interesting, isn't it? So this is good stuff to look at. I don't know, maybe if you guys want, I'll share a list of all the economic indicators I look at in Thinkorswim on a weekly basis. I never make them part of this weekly equity review because it would just take me too long to explain all this stuff. But what you can do is you can take this symbol, right? Control C, open up a here. open up a browser. Oh boy, that's too big. What am I doing? Okay. And then put that symbol in minus the Fred. And then it'll take you to the St. Louis Fed or Federal Reserve. And then you can read all about it. Check it out. It's the same exact chart. You see that? And like, all right, look at that. Oh, it's a daily close. Okay. Thought it was monthly. Okay, I see. I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I, a long time ago, made a spreadsheet and summarized all the different ones that I look at and their impacts on the market. So do stuff like that because it'll help you a lot, right? And read about all this stuff. But again, if you guys want, I'll post a list because it's not in this Thinkorswim login, it's in another one. I'll post that list of names that I look at. So anyway, I'll wait around for 20 or 30 seconds. If you guys want that, I'll put it in the Discord. Or maybe I'll put it on Twitter or something if you guys have a specific request. I don't mind sharing that. But it's a cool little list to look at. And I'll include the whole Thinkorswim symbol list. So 20 or 30 seconds. Here we go. I guess I'll drink watered down grape juice meanwhile. No problem, Charles. But learning about that stuff on Fred will drastically improve your game. Because what you'll find is that, sorry, my mic is further away. What you guys will find is that a lot of these things mean revert, right? So when the risk is low, yeah, I mean, the banks are not pricing in a lot of risk right now, but all of these things mean revert. And these shaded areas are when there was a recession, right, essentially, or a depression, right? So, right, you can see that a lot of times they start pricing in risk before or during, right? It becomes a big deal, right? So this is what, 08, 09, right? So we had that that whole banking issue. But, you know, you'll see, right? And this is what, COVID. So that's what this spike is right here, COVID. You know, and as this thing starts to move, what you'll see is as this thing starts to curl up, the markets will start getting very volatile. So this is a really good one to look at. Yep, for sure. John. Anyway, I'll put this in Discord in the everyone area, so not just contributors are seeing it, and I'll extract it from my other Thinkorswim account. Have a good weekend, guys. Take it easy. Thanks for the comments and doing this with me. It makes it a little bit more fun. So have a good one.